Things are going to start happening to me now.
You've done all the reading. You're a scholar. You're a professor. You've done all the reading. You've done the intellectual heavy lifting.
More or less, eat shit and die.
You wouldn't know a fact if it begged you all night long.
Want to give the wrong impression, because I am very high.
Ran up behind him with a hatchet. Smash, smash, smash.
Yeah. Care. I'm a libertarian. What I'm getting is,
Did you vote for Joe Jorgensen or Trump?
Who?
Joe Jorgensen.
That was the perfect answer. Thank you. That was...
Welcome, everybody, to the Libertarian Podcast Review. This is Tyler Yonke on a Friday, coming to you Andy-less. He's got such a difficult work schedule, and if you know Andy, you know he's not actually working, that he can't make it. It just means he's being a dad. Speaking of which, we're going to do a show today. It's going to be a little bit different. If you don't know who we are, we're Libertarian Podcast Review. We do all kinds of stuff. Coming up next Friday, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, we're going to do a kill pod, okay? And with that kill pod, we're going to have Perry. It's going to be laws that you don't like, laws that you do like, laws that you wish were on the books, whatever. Bring it on. Your worst laws, your favorite, who you want. Yes, Perry, not that Perry. It's a different Perry. Okay, guys? He's an attorney. There was some brouhahas about him online this weekend or this last few days, and he's like, hey, I know he is. Now Top Lobster and Toad are trying to steal him. I mean, my mentions are blowing up here because of these losers. I don't know. Yeah. Benzo probably knows. She saw some of the stuff in the group chat. Okay, everybody. Alex's response is so fucking perfect. Are you talking about Alex Jones? Alex who? Tyler reviewing Steven. That settles it. Crowder is a libertarian. Libertarian adjacent. And I thought we would take a different point of view on this and kind of, I don't know everybody's responses. All I'm going to do is, because I'm a family law attorney, so we're going to break this down from the family law perspective, this video that's out there, this horrible abuse that's happening to Steven Crowder and his wife, or is it? Okay. We're over on Rumble as well. Just type LPR, super easy. A monkey could do it. In my intro, I forget. Thank you, Phobes. Yes, Alex Jones in your intro. He says it all. That's still one of my favorites. So we're gonna go there. Okay, so we're just Steven Crowder. Look, I should have really prepared for this, but I think I'm allergic to some sort of beer. Okay, I've finally narrowed it down. I'm keeping a beer log, and I start to have some issues when I have certain types. So that's coming out. That's maybe a different issue or segment. Okay, so Steven Crowder, Dave Landau goes on Michael Malice's show, and I wish I would have pulled clips for that because there were some very interesting parts. I'll give you the overview because Steven Crowder, you guys might remember, he had a contract issue. He came out with the Daily Wire, said they were just, big con, and they have, now he made some really good points, which were Daily Wire would basically have problem, and you'd have to give money back if you were censored on YouTube. And according to Crowder, that's just ridiculous. These are horrible contracts. You shouldn't be able to do anything. Whatever. Benzo, I'll get to you in a second here. So with that in mind, Daily Wire comes back out and they refute him. Candace Owens goes on Tim Pool. Then Crowder goes on Tim Pool, but first he releases a video of him having, with him, and he recorded Jeremy Boring, which just seems ridiculous, but that's what he did. It's a one consent party state in Texas, so you can basically record anybody you want. Now, then Dave Landau comes out. He had been third chair there. He said there were some things to me that were kind of disturbing, which were if they were going back and forth and doing some rants, like Andy and I do, kind of. But you really see this. The two that do it the best are Big J. Okerson and Dan Soder, R.I.P. The Bonfire. And they go back and forth, and it's just going. He would start to do that with Crowder, and he being Dave, said that he was not allowed to get the last word in. And then there was a do not speak button, and then came out with the whole contract that was just horrible. Okay, so things are falling apart. Then I saw someone on Twitter a few days later saying, oh, Dave's getting a divorce. You're going to hear about this. No one had heard about it. So now we're going to kind of bring you up to speed and play a video that Crowder himself released, because this was all coming about. Okay. With that in mind, let's see if we can find the right one. Nope. That one right there. Okay, Anomaly. I don't know. He's kind of an annoying person too, but seems like a good guy. Okay, he released this little and basically, if you go to Steven Crowder's Rumble, this was his first opening on the video, which I saw. But this is a great way to sum it up here.
I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce.
Okay, and I'm going to make comments through it here. It's because he makes some things, and I think it brings out why this is happening. Boot on his neck. Basically, and by the way, that could mean many different things, right? It could mean that he's simply, there we go, that simply under financial, emotional, whatnot. I don't know what that is. By the way, I'm not a big Steven Crowder fan. I've taken him on multiple times, so we're not going to get down in the weeds of like this is fanboy stuff. But anyway, just kind of keep that in mind.
Let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted. It's been
I mean, in all states, it's permitted. Just so you know, until Sharia law comes into effect, it's probably always going to be permitted. Sorry, Stephen.
Most heartbreaking experience of my life.
Okay, I get
what
that.
I consider to be my deepest personal failure. And just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed. I've always believed that children need a mom and a dad, that divorce is horrible.
Yeah.
And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad and that divorce is horrible.
Agreed.
But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter.
Okay.
In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it, period.
Okay. Once again, every state is. If you file for divorce, let's say you even file for, like you can here in California, just for legal separation. You say, I want legal separation. It doesn't do anything other than you could get all the same judgments that you could under a divorce, property, spousal support, custody, but you're not technically legally married. So even if a party does that, and then the other party responds, it has to be mutual consent to proceed with legal separation. So the other party responds with divorce. You're in a divorce. There's only two ways to get a divorce once the other party responds, either by full agreement or court order. So, this thing of like, oh, he's not signing the papers. Well, just file the fucking motion to have it heard before the court. So TV is always stupid. Anyway, giving you some background on all this.
So for well over a year, in the best interest, as well as physical safety of my children, we've decided to keep this issue private and to resolve it privately with the appropriate attorneys, and what have you, legal jargon.
Saying it to a million people now.
Now, in all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless, completely without fault, and so we decided to resolve these issues privately, as it's in their best interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so. Now, the other issue is, and this is something that I've kept private for likely far too long. Many other people knew about this behind the scenes. Some, not all, but some of them in positions of power, influence, leverage, knew of this. They also knew that the safety of my children included keeping it private. So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well. Now, some of these...
Okay, I get that, and you want it private. But let's say it was, what kind of leverage would you have if you're like, hey, Steven, you better do something. I'm going to tell people that you have a publicly filed divorce case in Texas. I guess the response would be like, okay, whatever. I mean, it doesn't make sense that this would be an extorting thing. You know, celebrities go through this all the time. And the fact that the filing should be public. You may not be able to have the fact of the details within there. That could be sealed. And actually, we get to a video that talks about that. But the fact that it's there, it's not an extortion type of issue, really.
Threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Stephen has
shit.
a lot going on. I guess is the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. I would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know, Stephen purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that. You know, maybe if I feel in further defense, some things should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
Okay, and I'll just say on that, I don't really care for when people try to call each other out as to how Christian they are or how religious they are or how libertarian they are. I mean, that's a more fun one because it doesn't mean as much. Novum asks, is it possible Crowder is talking about this to kind of blow away the Landau stuff? I don't think so, because as we're going to show, the video comes out of the argument. Landau doesn't play into this anymore, other than it's a pattern of behavior, of control that you can maybe put towards this. But I'm going to talk about all of this, especially with the video, about what's the point of this. And let's take it from a little bit different eye. Andy called me yesterday and we had a discussion, and I think I made him think about it just from a little different perspective, rather than such a man-hater. I'm just kidding.
Well, my children have a right to privacy. Now, some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes, with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So to those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book.
Oh. Okay.
Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X
You'll do it again.
person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes.
Yeah, so it's not that big of a secret.
Which will be made alarmingly clear as this process of discovery continues. And it also, by the way, makes me that much more appreciative of those who did know about this and, in understanding the best interests of my family, my children, kept their word and used discretion. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it. It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works.
I'm sorry. I always... Hey, the law says I can't entrap her here at this home. I can't do false imprisonment against her will. What the hell? What's wrong with this woman?
Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides.
It's just a weird thing to say. I mean, I know he's frustrated and he's going through this, but it's been a few years now. You should get over the fact that it can happen.
Every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own, in that I picked wrong, and that's certainly not the fault of my children. And I will say that what's in the best interest of my children is not internet drama, speculation, certainly not blatant or veiled shakedowns or dragging their father or mother, and I can't be clear on that enough, or their mother through the mud. And to anyone who tries it, I'm no longer going to pacify, capitulate, or sidestep, because I love them a whole lot more than I love you. And I will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect my children. Discussing the divorce any further on social media or on this show or in any public space is not what's best for them. I'll be handling this through the proper legal avenues and channels available as a matter of record, in which I have more than full confidence. So I'd ask that you understand the need for and respect our privacy in what is obviously a pretty tough time. And I hope that none of this has to go any further than that.
It will, and
I have been.
and let's play one other item here.
Promise crazy a baby.
There you go. Never. Okay, so I thought there was a few. Look, he says, "I love her. How dare the state of Texas not allow me to keep her in the basement? This is horrible. She wants to leave. I can't do anything because the state allows you to get divorced." And then he says, "The one mistake I made was I stuck my dick in crazy." Now that was my interpretation of it, but basically that's what he's saying. So those don't make sense. So I mean, look, Crowder's a hypocrisy machine all the time, so it's not much. Complaint there. Now, we're over on Rumble. I'm checking out let's do this, share the screen here with the Rumble chat. And my name is George here. He says, but the video he outright said, "I don't love you." So we'll get to that. Why does a millionaire only have one car? Hey, we're going to get to that as well. Okay. I don't know. Maybe he has more than one car, but we're going to keep working our way through there. Okay. So that's his opening statement. Now, Candace Owen basically comes back and makes some comments because we have time today, so we're gonna talk here. I don't know if I have time to or care to listen to 16 minutes here, but let's see what she says.
Just happened, and before we get to it, I just want to back up and tell you why we are discussing this breaking news, because it's occurred to me that there are some people out there who believe that to be a conservative, what it means is that we become tribal and we defend other conservatives even.
All right, we have a few comments here. Phobe says, yeah, I disagree with the law nonsense, but the stealing half of a dude's shit, even if there's a prenup, is unacceptable. We could talk about that. Him spinning it as a hate the law spiel is appreciative, if that's a word. Okay, yeah, I got it. Easier to control your wife if only purchase one car and she doesn't have her own source of income. Could be, but, and we'll get to it. You guys are jumping the gun. But remember in that video, he then says, take an Uber. I'm not defending him, but you've got to understand, take an Uber. They don't have a car, and he's telling her to take an Uber. That's in no way controlling her, because presumably she has money to use for the Uber. Okay, so just going there. Okay.
When they do things that are wrong, that we don't discuss things that are horrible on our own side, because we need to just make sure that we score wins in other ways, and that is wrong. That to me is the exact opposite of why I have this platform. I am not tribal. I want to expose things when they are bad on the left, and I will also expose things when they are bad on the right. Obviously, I have been interested in the Steven Crowder saga pertaining to his divorce because he literally inserted me into his divorce a couple of days ago. And his wife and family are now speaking out regarding that video in which he told people publicly that his wife was leaving him. You remember this. He chose wrong. And he essentially made it sound as if he did not want his marriage to end, but his wife simply wanted to leave. Well,
we just heard it.
She has responded by giving video, and I want to prep you. I want you to know this is horrific video. It is very difficult to watch. It's especially difficult to watch because in this footage, she is 8 months pregnant. And the video essentially reveals just how emotionally abusive he has been. And she is alleging that he has been emotionally abusive to her. And this video all but confirms it. So let's first get to the footage. I'm just going to allow you to watch it in its entirety.
I drew a boundary.
Okay, and I'm going to read through this. I wasn't going to watch, I hadn't watched Candace's thing. I thought she was going to talk about the extortion part. So I don't know that I'm going to watch her whole thing. So here's the video, and I will read the segments here in case you can't quite hear it. So he says, because I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No? And now she's standing out there. There's a Ring camera pointing out towards her little pool, a little bit golf court. I don't know what it is out there. They got their dog, their stuff out there. This is a 3-minute video, 3.5 or so minute video. No context as to what the fight is about. That's what I want to first start with. Okay, and we're gonna walk through this. Then I've got some comments here. Okay.
I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary.
You just did it. I drew a boundary, abusive and cruel, because that is abusive, and you're not taking the car. Okay. We don't know what this is about. No clue as to what this is about. So it's taken a little bit out of context. Candace about to throw the Prego woman card. Right.
You are not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
Okay. He's saying you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries. I don't know this. Once again, there's so much out of context. And so everyone going crazy with this on both ways. I mean, he's a piece of shit. No one's taking that away from him. Okay. But I'm just letting you know, we don't know what this is about. This isn't, and my name is George. My name goes here. Sorry, I don't know why it's George. I just glanced at it. What it comes down to, they're both wrong. This is what the Rumble commenter said. She tried to pull a whole Amber Heard thing with the video, but then the way he talked to her is unacceptable too. And Candace Owens, shake my head. Yeah, not wrong there. Let's keep going. There are no groceries today. That's steaks. Okay, so she says there's no groceries today. So whatever, I don't know why she's saying that. Why no groceries today, honey? And why is she showing her belly?
But
Steaks, wood, pellets, my grill.
I know it's not unreasonable, but I'll go do it.
It's not unreasonable. I'll go do it. First, Hillary, how do you respect
Hillary,
the
how do you respect the man? Yes, other than man, other man.
the other men you see? The mother. I don't know what he's saying here.
You see the mother.
First of all, I'm going to point this out too. She is way too calm for how he is reacting. We missed something that this is clipped out. And once again, he's the big piece of shit. She's pregnant. I get all that. But the context looks bad too. She's standing up, belly out. He's sitting back, cigar in hand, legs crossed, sitting on the couch. And it looks bad, but she is way too calm for this situation. And why? I mean, that means something, right? Because she could have started it. What happened earlier before we got this clip that he gets so worked up over? I doubt he just sat down, unless he's an abusive and emotional thing. And that's what Candace is saying that he is. Okay.
No. Other than man. No, you're not taking the car.
Steven,
You're not taking the car.
Steven,
You are not.
then I
taking
will ask someone to pick me up.
Then I'll ask someone to pick me up.
Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's not correct, Steven.
Get an Uber.
Okay, Steven, I can't.
Feeling some constraints?
Why can't she get an Uber? Well, I don't know what this constraint stuff is, though.
Steven,
Like, I can't
Steven.
go. Listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're going to take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
Okay. And by the way, we don't know that. Why is he boxed in? What happened here before? Is she telling him he can't do this? He can't do this. You got to stay home. I don't know. Bitch isn't doing wifely things. I mean, let's be honest here.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either.
See,
Do you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going, I'll be back when I'm back?
Okay. So he's saying my life is set to the second. You can be back whenever you want. I don't know what I don't know what date this is. Is this a Sunday? This says, there's a date in here, 6/26/2001. So I don't know what 6/26/2001 is, June 26th. Maybe it's a Sunday. Maybe it's the middle of the day. Maybe he has to go into work. I don't know. Maybe he's got a video or a show lined up. I don't know. We don't know. That's the point. We don't know.
Steven,
The only way out of this is discipline and respect. It's the only way out of it, or we're at an impasse.
we are at an impasse.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline and respect.
We're at an impasse because you don't have any discipline or respect.
Yeah. There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Steven.
Hillary,
Steven?
you give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Steven, no, we are at an impasse, okay?
By the way, it's got part of the arguing part is annoying because she's a woman. He's Steven Crowder. He goes and does change my mind stuff. He's out there. He's arguing all the time. I have the same problem with my wife because I am an attorney that argues in court, and I come home and it's a different dynamic. I'm like, boom, 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 facts, da, 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 and she's not down for that. So these kind of arguments are useless. Once again, he's worked up. She is way too calm. And she's not calm because she's scared of him, which might be what they think. I think this is just out of contact. That's my point of the calmness.
I love you, but Steven, you're he's sick.
Watch it.
He's sick.
Watch it.
Okay, and to me, this is someone who has watched way too many of these kind of videos out of context, and then you get the full thing. It's and I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong where he is an abusive prick all the time. But this is and once again the calmness. This is a situation where she is setting him up to say he's abusive. Sometimes that's a gaslighting thing. She says he's abusive because he's the way he's doing things, perhaps, or sometimes you just tell someone they're abusive all the time, and then and then that's their way of kind of getting out of it, or reason why she's skipping out with that tight little shirt. I don't know, she's pregnant. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting part.
Watch it.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. You need to just stop engaging for a little bit. Okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem.
There we go. I don't love you. That's the big problem. But you want, so this is where Crowder, he's so full of crap about, you know, and this is why, and I'm going to talk about why this video came out.
I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it. You go,
I've never received love from you.
But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. It's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hilarry?
Put on some gloves. I was confused. Now, people are telling me online that this is because evidently she's pregnant. You can see it there, twins, I think. And there was some dog medicine that she shouldn't be handling. And so he wanted her to maybe walk the dogs, put on the gloves. I guess the gloves are for that. Either that or he needs a proctology exam and he wants to receive love from her. And this is the time he's finally going to do it. But he does want that anal swab to be done with gloves. I don't know.
You're right, then past. Become someone, listen to me, day in and day out, worthy of a wife. No, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife.
A wife
Hilarry,
worthy.
Hilarry, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll text me what you need. I'll get you what you need.
Oh, she's going to take the car. Shit.
I love you. I'm committed to you.
Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm
Are you? Put on some gloves.
not engaged. I'm
Get the lube.
not gonna.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to you. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves.
I need to
Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those?
Walk the dogs. Seems reasonable.
Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm gonna just.
Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication the dogs? No, you take.
Okay, then it says, as the Crowders head inside, Stephen gets angrier and angrier, and by his own admission screams, "I will fuck you up," at his pregnant wife, Hilarry, who then flees the home. Okay, come on. We don't know that. That's hearsay. Okay, I didn't hear the "I will fuck you up" part. Let's stop watching Candace. Okay, let's talk about a few things here. Okay, one, why is this video being released? That's issue number one. Okay, Andy brings this to me, or when he talked to me about it yesterday, he's like, "Hey," I said, what in this video is useful for? Let's only take it from divorce. Okay, you go to court. Now I don't work in Texas, but I would imagine similar to California on some of these things. You've got a few things that abuse could come into. One would be spousal support. If the abusing party can't get spousal support, okay. Your kids, how you're going to determine, you can't necessarily have an abuser have the kids, you know, they could overcome this presumption of being an abuser and stuff, but you know, it could be an issue. Okay. So those, and sometimes there's some things with retirement and stuff, but he's got all the money. So it's not like he's going to be receiving anything. So what about this abuse? And by the way, is this going to, if I see this and they bring it to me and they're like, let's show he's manipulating. I'm like, I want, it's out of context. What are you going to get with this? You're going to get nothing. This is not going to prove anything in court. I can't imagine a courtroom that I've been in that's going to see this as something significant. Now there's some shitty judges out there, I take it, but I would look for the full entire context of this, why they got into that. Did he actually make a threat? He's telling her to put gloves on. What is he trying to kill your kids because he's got medicine on your hand that's going to kill? That doesn't make sense either. So there's nothing about this video that is going to be convincing and useful in court, in family law court, that I see a single bit. Now, don't have another car. Okay, but once again, go use a Uber. For whatever reason, that's what he wanted to have. There would have to be so much more info I would need to know if he's going to, if he's the kind of person that control. No, so we have this person so controlled that there is an abuse component to him. Okay, that's definitely viable, but you're going to have to show me more than just what this is. So I don't know any more about this. So then you say, why is this video coming out? This video is not coming out to show that, you know what? we've got an abusive guy. We're gonna go into court, and this is why I'm getting divorced. No, you're getting divorced because I've had arguments much worse than that with my lovely wife, who and I would be embarrassed to have them displayed out there. I'm sure everyone would be, right? We argue when you get emotional, things get bad, and sometimes those arguments go where she's over the top, and then I'm over the top, and another one's calm. Did you say Uber? I might have. I might have said Uber. Uber. I should get that Uber mensch part going. You distracted me a tad bit there. The point is, this is not the most extreme argument. I had a guy. They had a Ring camera. Wife's not home. They've already separated. He's not at the house anymore. He comes up to the Ring camera, and he's pretending like he's talking to some random people. And he's like, "Oh yeah, well my wife lives here. You can come stay here. She doesn't." And he was all alone. I mean, there was another camera to show that he was talking to himself, but he's doing this to try to gaslight her and to try to scare her in a sense. But the reality, and she really wanted me to show this in court, and I didn't want to because it doesn't do anything. And that's what the judge says too. It did. Okay. Did anything come about it? And she's like, well, I was getting scared. Okay. Which sometimes to me, it's also interesting to hear what the courts will take into as threats. So you said, I will fuck you up. And is that possible? So why is this video being out there? Because he released, because she hates him. She fucking hates him. Okay. You're not releasing this to embarrass him for any other reason. Now, we just heard Steven Crowder had a $50 million contract, although Dave Landau said that he doesn't get paid. He got paid more than Crowder, according to Crowder. Then there's a $125 million, I think, deal they had with Rumble. So he's getting paid. They have a decent looking place there. I doubt she's working. I'm just saying, I know she'd worked at some like non-Planned Parenthood. It was an anti-Planned Parenthood thing. She's not making the money he is. She's going to get support from him. So you don't want to do something that detrimentally harms the income of the spouse that's going to be supporting you. And if that happens, then there's a problem. So she's releasing this video because she doesn't fucking care so much about that as she does to embarrass him and to hurt him. That is what we have here in family courts. Now, he's a piece of shit that does deserve to be hurt and shamed. I get it. But man, that's rough. Okay. That's a rough thing to say. She has IVF babies. Okay. Good point. She doesn't fucking work. She doesn't fucking work. Let's be honest. She's like Toad in the female game. It's not happening. Okay. Okay, let's pull up additional video because now we have more info about. So we did the exclusive thing there, and okay, this is Steven Crowder. He just released this. I saw it today. So here we go.
On my ongoing divorce, go to the back. I commented on my ongoing divorce on Tuesday, requesting privacy in the best interest of the family, but also by court order agreed upon by all parties. Look, broken marriages are ugly. And in them, people do ugly things. Myself, of course, included. I would never claim otherwise. However, due to recent misleadingly edited leaks to the tabloid press without context and not subject to consequences of the court, well, if not privacy, the next best option is truth.
Okay, so before we go, I said stop. There we go. I want to make some comments about this. So what I imagine he's done is the documents were likely not sealed to begin with, because they had to make a motion to actually seal the documents, which we can do. I came into a case once, the baby had not been born. Baby mama might have been a stripper, might not. She came to me, and opposing party played linebacker for the 49ers and just had got a really nice contract, big contract. They went to court before the baby is born to have the judge rule on some things. One, and they did. They said she couldn't post certain social media things, so it was very dark. I mean, they sealed a lot of stuff you couldn't be doing going forward. And I'm just like, yeah, why subject yourself to that? But you know what? It was, and she was my client, but it was a good thing that happened because she's just kind of, she's one of those posters on, and why do you think he got that situation going? So sealed. Now, what happens? What happens if one of the parties decides to break this? Okay. Contempt. Andy just had done some things, one of the videos of those rapper guys down in Atlanta or somewhere in Georgia where they were getting held for contempt. There's multiple kinds of a contempt, okay? They have civil and criminal penalties, but in this case, when the client may or may not have done that, sometimes it's hard to really enforce that. Well, then you make them take it down, then you maybe make them pay some money, whatnot, but there's really not much they're going to do about it. So in this case, sounds like to me, Crowder said there was a media blackout for this, and the whole court documents were sealed. Okay. So now if she violated that by giving this info, because he's not giving this info out, maybe her parents did, then at some point, what are you going to really do about it? So if I'm telling him there, I'm like, well, depends what's in the file. And here's his solution. Let's see if we go back to, there we go.
Officially unseal all files
There you go.
as they relate to the matter of legal record, finances, relevant medical records, including mental health history or evaluations, depositions, and any motions or sanctions from the courts of Texas. I will not be leaking private marital information to the press, but if the privacy agreements are not respected by all parties, I will address all that is a matter of irrefutable legal record in full context next week.
Sweet. That'll be fun. So what is he saying there? Basically, they had everything sealed. Andy said all that money, and Crowder didn't hire a maid butler. Yeah, he's no Schwarzenegger. He's no Schwarzenegger. Because Schwarzenegger banged his maid, and then they had a Mexican baby. So they had sealed everything up, it sounds like, and now he's saying, fine, we're going to release everything, not our marital info. Well, what do you mean, not your marital info? Everything is your marital info. So you're going to release your finances? I don't know. Sanctions? Sounds like she's already been sanctioned. If you've got a good client, now he's assuming that he is one, and maybe everything in court looks bad for her. Okay, that'd be interesting. It will be interesting to see. Let's see. Her parents bred a woman who can't give birth on her own. I don't trust them either. Okay. Yeah. What else did we miss here? It was a 19th Amendment comment. If he doesn't throw a fist, I won't repeal the 19th. Oh, it's rough. Bitch, don't tell me what to do. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Should we walk through some more of this Candace ridiculousness? I think maybe so. So what's the point? The point is Crowder, she released the video. Okay, there's no doubt about it. This is an ugly divorce, and she's doing these things to embarrass him. I am glad I never had to go through. I am not that kind of attorney either. You know, some people come in and they're like, I want to, break neck and just go at it. And I'm like, that's not me. I will definitely defend you to every extent I can, push back. When I get someone on the stand, which I've done multiple times, where you can just tell that bitch is lying, I go at him hard. Okay, I've had women crying on the stand, and I don't care because I know they're lying. It's just ridiculous. And then I go harder. And nothing is better than this. You're going to like this out of context, Andy. Go hard at a woman who's crying. Okay, it is a wonderful thing. But I feel fine with it. But I'm not going to just burn them down. That's ridiculous kind of attorney stuff. The best thing for me is always you get the case done, you get it over with. Their money was well spent, and they're not too happy with what happened because that means there was a good agreement to happen. All right, with the other party. Anyway, let's maybe play a little bit more of this Candace Owens stuff. Whoops. I wish this was easier. I wish I could bring up a bunch of screens at once. Okay, Candace Owens. Let's see if this bitch has anything better to say than what she was just saying.
So that is both heartbreaking and infuriating for me to watch.
First of all, I'll go back to the video. That was not heartbreaking, and it wasn't infuriating. This is not, Candace, I mean, give me a break. You don't think her husband slapped her around a little bit, just a cultural appropriation? Come on.
I cannot even comprehend how any man can speak to a woman like that, least of all when she is 8.
I'm not justifying Crowder, okay? I'm not justifying it at all. But if you haven't been in a fight with someone and said my wife, damn that, she's so good. She knows where to get me every time. And sometimes it's just, if she's not crying, they're not going hard enough. Tyler Yankee 2023. Exactly. Okay, keep going here. But this is not the most ridiculous video. It's not. Was there a guy that was dragging some girl around in the hotel elevator, beating her up like that? That's bad. Telling a woman that she could get an Uber and maybe go, bitch, take the dog for a walk. What if? Let's surmise here. Let's contemplate this. What if the situation really is she doesn't work, he's working all the time. Now you're like, Tyler, she's got 2 twins pregnant. Okay. What? She can't walk around. She was walking around just fine there. What if she doesn't do anything and Steven is doing, this is not the case, but what if, and he's doing everything and he comes home and he's like, oh my God, I've just got this $50 million contract. What did you do today? And she's like, well, Jerry Springer's on his deathbed, but his reruns are still on. So I'm sitting pretty. If that's the case, you're not going to be loving this situation. Maybe that's what happened.
8 months pregnant, and sadly, that isn't the worst part of that correspondence.
Chris Brown effect, thank
you. The journalist
you.
that dropped this video is Yashar Ali. He dropped this as well as a Substack entry accompanying it. On the Substack article, he wrote, moments later, off camera, Steven Crowder, by his own admission, would lose control and scream at his pregnant wife in a threatening tone, quote, I will f you up.
Come on, Daily Wire. Why are you bleeping that out?
End quote, which led his wife to flee their home.
Once again, that's hearsay because it's a third party, an out of court statement made by a non-opponent to the case for the truth of the matter asserted. However, you probably got it from a court document. I think her parents are feeding this guy, this Yasser Ali. Is that the same guy that's banging boys with Jones?
She then sent a statement, which I want to be very clear. This statement I knew was going to come out. I did.
Really sorry. Hi, Emma. Had to come after what I just said there.
Didn't know any of this information. I had no idea there was a video or there was any evidence. I did know that their family was thinking about issuing a statement, and Hilarry Crowder did issue a statement. And I'm going to read you that statement in its entirety because it's important. I think it reveals a lot of the lies that Steven has been telling publicly to his audiences. It reads, Hilarry is...
By the way, who cares? I don't really care about any of these people. This is fun to kind of walk through from a family court perspective and to give you an idea of and once again, it's, we've had this with multiple case stuff. Just don't buy into the first thing you see as the only part of the story. Look into it a little bit deeper, have some context. People are bad, both sides, it happens. He's a piece of shit. I get it. But, let's go.
Currently living alone in Dallas, apart from her family and support system in Michigan, and is focused on taking care of her young children. She is not prepared at this time to speak about her divorce becoming public or the misleading statements made by Steven about their relationship. The truth is that Hilarry spent years hiding Steven's mentally and emotionally abusive behavior from her friends and family while she attempted to save their marriage. She was the one who was asking to work on their relationship to keep the marriage intact for their unborn child. In June of 2021, Steven left their home to pursue elective surgery. That's very important. I want you to remember that. I'm going to come back to that point. Hilarry urged him to get the help he needed to address his abuse with the hope that their marriage could be saved and they could peacefully live together as a family. Instead, Steven refused to do so and chose not to be with his wife during the birth of their twin children. After the birth, Steven bought a townhouse.
She said after birth.
And left their home permanently. Hilarry was not aware that Steven hired a divorce attorney and asked his assistant to cut Hilarry off financially. There is significant documentation substantiating these facts. I want you to remember that portion as well, because that's another lie that Steven has told publicly. We hope that Steven will cease from speaking publicly about these personal matters in an untruthful manner. We also look forward to there being full transparency in the legal process so there is fairness and accountability for the actions that caused the divorce and to ensure the outcome is what is in the best interests of the young children. I would first like to go back to that portion.
Okay, I don't want to hear what her analysis because it doesn't matter. But I am going to go back to a few things that were said there that I thought were of interest. And I'll go, maybe I will bring this back. Damn it. And then someone over on Rumble made a comment that I'm not quite sure. It's Big Q said, this is like the circus part of the bread and circus. Give me a break. Okay, your break is given, okay? Kanye with plastic surgery Crowder. Yes, quite possibly. Elective surgery. Now, I remember him talking about heart surgery. What was this elective surgery? Trans ass implants, new cock. I don't know. None of this matters, by the way. Doesn't matter. And that's the point I'm getting at with them fighting here. And by the way, why am I doing this? Clicks. We're getting some views. But also it's to help us get through this, which is multiple times, almost invariably, parties now are getting divorced and one of them brings up mental health issues of the other party. Almost never are they useful. But I've got several of them where these mostly women are batshit crazy. Okay, completely crazy, super smart, intelligent, good-looking women that are nutso. Okay, in fact, I'm thinking of one where she had friends that we had a hearing set. It was like 2 months out at Christmas time. I was just going to come back after Christmas, and her friends had just written her like a declaration, kind of a character witness about how great she is. Now, I was talking to Andy about this yesterday. Character witness statements mean nothing to me unless you have specific, testimony about incidents that happened, because even, Ted Bundy could have had a coworker write something how great he was, and good looking guy, and then he's out killing a bunch of people. So those don't really matter. You don't know what you're like behind the scenes. But they did one, said she was great behind the scenes and da-da-da-da-da. They go out of town, okay? Before the hearing, I get a call from them, and they're like, we left her alone in our house to take care of it, and it is destroyed, like $20,000 worth of damage. And they sent me pictures, and she had destroyed this house, like beer bottles of fire on the carpet, where she had made a bonfire inside their house. Nuts type of people, okay? That doesn't always happen. So you have this here where he's suffering from mental abuse. He says, hey, I've got even mental health evaluations we're going to see. So maybe we're going to see those kind of things. So I don't know what all takes place. The fact, there are a few little things here, though, that do mean something. And the elective surgery doesn't mean anything for the court case. Where's the next part we have? Stop ceasing publicly, or speaking publicly. Don't care about that. It's part about his attorney, that he got an attorney. Speak about a divorce. Hillary spent time hiding from him. Okay, who cares about that? Maybe I missed it. Candace talked too slow. Okay, well, anyway, there we go. Stephen had got a divorce attorney. Who cares? Sometimes you need to know. It happens a lot. People come in, they maybe contact me. They're interested in if something does go down, if they're separated. So that is one thing. Maybe you need to contemplate this. Then what are we going to do? What I need to do to protect myself, blah, blah, blah. Told his assistant to cut Hillary off financially. Okay. Now that could be a problem, right? That is the kind of abuse, and we were talking about abuse stuff, you can actually start to document, which is you can't take the car. Now, they weren't separated here, so she essentially had that. But as soon as you're separated, you're going to put yourself in some kind of hurt if you cut them off financially when they have no assistance to counsel or no assistance to your money. So it could be problematic. But for the most part, I don't think it's really much of a big deal. Andy says, wow, crazy women and conniving. This is my first time hearing this possibility. Yeah, well, glad you're finally hearing it. She turned the house into Jamaica. Definitely correct. Nuvum says, well, yeah, Kanye was right about what? I don't know what we're talking about there. Plastic surgery. That's kind of what we have for today for the Crowder stuff. So it looks like I will be interested to see the divorce documents, to kind of walk through them, see if there's anything that's of interest out there. But it doesn't sound like there's restraining orders. It's a custody thing. Maybe we shouldn't be that interested. I guess the whole point is you've got, and here's why this is kind of taken it, and Big Q or someone over here, Broke Mo Howard sent me this link. Tucker Carlson, let's take a look at it as well. And then we're going to talk about why this is possibly important, if at all. But, coming from the news media and how they are, I could see this thing. Tucker Carlson's post-firing statement matters less to me than Steven Crowder's divorce. Okay, I watched last night and really don't remember what it said. Then I listened to Nick Fuentes talk about it and don't remember what he said either. Okay, I'm with you. Why would you listen to Nick, first of all? I don't have 2 minutes to watch it again right now, but you can if you want. I do know what the week we got. I do know that the week before he got fired, he did my entire bit about how it was pointless to try to debate Democrats, and everyone trying to do that is just wasting time. So it's good to know he's still borrowing my material. Who is this guy? Why is he so worried about his Andrew Anglin? Daily Stormer? What a Daily Stormer? Who sent me a Daily Stormer article? I'm more concerned about Steven's divorce. Anyone taking shots at Crowder after he said his wife left him should kill themselves. Seriously, if you took an opportunity to tell of a man telling you that his wife left him to take a shot, you need to take a shot and pop your top off because you're lower than, okay. Well, you know what? You can go fuck yourself. This is why Daily Stormer is great. You're doing good, Tyler. Yeah. I'm having trouble reading, Andy. I don't know. Sometimes it's problematic. But that guy, so Broke Mo Howard, you sent me a Daily Stormer article. I just realized what it was. It wasn't very useful. Just saying that, because I could make fun of him all I want. I could rip him all I want, and I am. Yeah. Now, once again, I don't think that there's a lot of abuse that was shown there. Maybe you show me something else. Maybe that's what it is. Now, why is this important? Because Crowder people try to delegitimize him on off of YouTube for years. We know this. That's why he went over to Rumble. That's why he made such a statement to the Daily Wire to show that he's the man. But the reality is, I don't know, he's a conservative. And when you put forth a conservative values at everything you do, family, God, kids, those kind of things, and then you fuck up in your own life, you're going to be shown for those things. You, remember Wiener, right? He wasn't, he was sending stuff to young girls. He was he was a disgusting person. And even though his name was that, you know, he was kind of pushed out of the things, but he wasn't. I mean, his wife still worked for Hilarry. So it doesn't make as much of a difference if you're on the left. Okay. I'm more upset with Crowder over the Landau claims than any of this BS divorce voice under. I totally agree. The Landau stuff was fantastic. Where do you predict his divorce custody battle going? Staying there in Texas. Now, one of the articles I was reading that said something about her and family, Connecticut or Maine, Michigan. That's what it was. They're up in Michigan, so she doesn't have the support. Well, I don't think she could just get up and move the kids. It'll be interesting to see if there's some of that happening, right? This may ruin part of him. I mean, if you care about your kids, you're going to care about them more than you are the actual programs that you're doing. But you know, he's not. I don't know. Maybe he's Jason Stapleton. So this doesn't. He cares more about his job than he does the family. So who knows where this is going? The Dave Landau thing, the most significant thing before this came about, and I had problems with Crowder. Let's see if maybe I'll pull one of these clips up again, because he's a wacky guy. One of the things that I thought was interesting with the Crowder, hang on, let me see if I can find this. I don't see it in here now. One of the issues with the Landau before that came about, Crowder comes back, he's got his new show, he's got Landau's not in the third seat anymore, and there's always been a problem how so much the staff laughs at him. Okay, now you've got Nick DiPaolo, and then you've got some of these other comedians in there, and they are not laughing when he makes his jokes, but his staff cackles like a bunch of girls, and it's crazy shit. And I'm like, he's not funny, and that's why the Landau stuff was amazing to me, because Landau was funny, Landau was good. And then, and so it was frustrating, and you can start to do that. Okay. Andy says it will be harder for Crowder to get joint custody in Texas. Okay. There you go. Andy would know. Every other weekend dad. Okay. There you go. And maybe since she showed he's abusive, by telling her to walk the dogs and do wifely things, although that may endear him to this Texas judge. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. I think we're going to end on that. I don't know if there's really much more to say other than the left is going to come after him. They're going to demonize. They're going to make this a big deal. It's just like when Tucker leaves Fox News, the left, they're so stupid, as if you've won because he got let go. Tucker's going to come back bigger somewhere else. Dom Lemon getting fired. Does it matter to me? I didn't watch his show anyways. So he gets fired. Okay, whatever. It just means he's rambling out there banging some dudes doing some other things. So I don't know that you get all excited about this, because it doesn't mean that you've won. You know, Crowder getting divorced is one thing. It may just untether him more. He might be even bigger. Did you see Crowder's response on Twitter? Voice under, you're a little late, because yes, we just played it, as a matter of fact. Let's see, where was it? Right here. We just played this video. It was his response. And basically what he was saying, for those coming really late to the party, There's documents that are sealed. This was supposed to be sealed as it was. He's now released it out to be up there more, or he made a motion, I guess, to unseal everything. So the idea is we might have something coming forward for all of us to enjoy. Okay, that's our breakdown of the Crowder thing. Once again, you watch this, it's not something you need to be so freaked out about. It's not that kind of, if you think this is abusive, you're one, you're lying. Two, what do you still live at home? And three, you've not been out in the real world. This is a mediocre argument. And you're like, Tyler, what kind of life do you live where everyone's so yelling and everything? Okay, maybe in my life is now. My wife and I don't go to extremes like that, do we? No, not typically. So anyway, I just don't think it's as big a deal. He's a creep. Fine. I don't think this video actually convinced me that he's a creep. There's a lot of people online just appalled by it. And by the way, one of them is our friend and our one and only Candace Owens. Tyler, you can't just say, do you still have a home to millennials? I do. I have 4 kids. The oldest one is 22. The next one's 19. They're both away at college. They like support themselves. They're doing their things. Okay. They're becoming self-sufficient humans. And this is what we do. So I can mock others that don't have that. Oh, sorry. Andy, mild fight, but Crowder was being homosexual about it. He was totally being homosexual about it. But I didn't mean to say about living at home, Andy. That's just... Once again, if you missed the part in the beginning, when you watch the video, ask yourself why, and I don't feel like it, I don't want to have to defend Crowder, and I'm not. But ask yourself why she's so calm and he's so worked up. What got him there? Okay, there's a reason, and then we're only going to see a clip of the video. What happened to begin with? Did she get riled up first, and then he reacted? Did he start something, and then she just was calm this whole time? If that's the case, maybe he is just psychotic, and then we, got a problem. It's not like we can afford to buy houses. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt or to make anyone feel bad. Next Friday. Kill Pod, we're bringing a Perry on, a Perry. I don't know, remember his full name. It's Perry. It's not Pinord. It's a different Perry. And Andy's going to be here. It should be our 100th episode. Blow it out. And it's all about laws, people. So your favorite law, your least. What would be Crowder's least favorite law? Divorce. That it's legal. Right. All right. Bye.
Okay, I'm leaving now. Bye, guys.
But she's back.
And now.
Chick-fil-A is completely overrated. It's not that good. I prefer Zaxby's. I prefer Popeyes.
Takes a tough man to make a tender forecast, Nick. And I guess that's me. Keep fucking that chicken.
Should I vote for Dick Cheney on the Libertarian Party? Do I have an obligation to vote for Dick Cheney?
I would say so.
Yes.
Did it work for those people?
No, it never does. I mean, these people somehow delude themselves into thinking it might, but it might work for us.
That one dude was like, not a podcast, I can't find it anywhere, and they don't have video.
Oh, yeah, Peter Janke, yeah.
Yeah, I blocked him.
I'll do it. If he unblocks me, I'll...
He'll buy your shirt if you unblock him, Bert.
He's a wigger.
Yeah, nothing cooler than a 49-year-old wigger.
Like,
I just started live streaming. Cut me some slack. I'm pretty high tech for a boomer. But anyways,